If you're thinking about getting a new MacBook, the hardest part is not the price. It's figuring out the model you actually need. Let's run through the lineup real quick and make the decision a lot easier. What we're going to cover in this video is what kind of work do you do, if you ever push your machine, and what do all those tech specs mean for you. At the time I'm recording this in early 2026, Apple just announced the new MacBook Neo. And this is a terrific computer that is built for everyday tasks like web browsing, email, productivity apps, schoolwork, that sort of thing. Okay, let's look at some of the specs that Apple has on its website about the MacBook Neo. You'll see that it comes standard with a 13-inch Liquid Retina display. This is a simple LCD panel, and it's going to look really good. The A18 Pro chip is actually an iPhone chip. Now, before you think this is some sort of watered-down chip that's going to power this MacBook, let's put it in perspective. My YouTube channel's video is being recorded by an M2 MacBook Air with 8 gigabytes of unified memory. And it records without a hitch, and I even do a fair amount of editing on the MacBook as well. And I have never experienced any sort of performance issue in video editing, in recording, or any of the other creative tasks I do on my MacBook Air with that M2 processor. Now let's put it in perspective. The A18 Pro chip is actually got 8 gigabytes of unified memory as well, and its performance is in line with the M3 desktop chip. So on paper, and I think in real life, it's going to perform equally as well as my MacBook Air with the M2 processor in it. Okay, getting back to the tech specs. You'll see that the CPU has a 6-core, the GPU is 5 cores, and like I mentioned before, 8 gigabytes of unified memory, and the internal storage starts at 256 gigabytes. If you jump up to 512 gigabytes, you actually get that extra storage capacity and a Touch ID sensor on the keyboard. And you'll see battery life is up to 16 hours. That's no slouch. And that chip and the A18 Pro chip supports Apple Intelligence. Now, I know currently, like I said, in early 2026, there's a whole lot of opinions out there about what Apple Intelligence is, but I think it's kind of misunderstood. Apple Intelligence is basically a set of features that Apple has clearly defined that uses AI, but that AI is taking place on your computer. So privacy is top notch. And Apple Intelligence can help you get rid of that photo bomber in the back of your photos, and it can help you rewrite an email, among other things. Back to the tech specs. There's 8 gigabytes of memory for unified memory, and there's no option to upgrade that. And for the sort of tasks that the MacBook Neo is going to focus on, 8 gigabytes of unified memory is sufficient. And like I mentioned, here's the storage. 256 standard, 512 gigabyte upgrade. Now you'll see when it comes to the display, it shows that there's 500 nits of brightness, and that might not sound like a lot, but it's actually on par with the vast majority of notebooks out there, and it's got plenty of light for you to see in most environments. Now, when it comes to size, it's similar but not quite the same as the MacBook Air, and you'll see that its weight only comes in at 2.7 pounds. So it should fit in a backpack and not weigh you down as you walk around. One thing I'm going to mention about the keyboard is it is the only laptop in the MacBook lineup that won't have a backlit keyboard. So most of the time people aren't really going to notice that, But some people have specific use cases where they might be doing some computing in a darker environment where a backlit keyboard would be a compelling option. Now, when it comes to ports on the side of the MacBook Neo, the port closest to the display is actually USB 3. That'll give you high performance for, say, connecting an external drive. The port closest to the keyboard is a little slower at USB 2. And that port is more than sufficient for things like mice, printers, stuff like that. And the front-facing camera on the Neo supports high definition, so it'll perform really well for FaceTime video calls. So who is the MacBook Neo for? Basically, if you've never made a computer struggle to meet your needs, then chances are the MacBook Neo is for you. It's going to handle email, web, productivity apps, and streaming video without any problem at all. And if the 256 gigabyte storage seems a little too confining for you, then just go ahead and invest the extra $100 for the 512 gigabyte option. And the nice thing about that one, it comes with Touch ID on the keyboard, which makes logging into your computer just a little simpler. Now let's move over to the MacBook Air. This is a great laptop for everyday computing, but it can also handle more creative tasks like coding, photography, graphic design, light and even medium level video editing. And it can handle multitasking without breaking a sweat. Okay, let's jump through the tech specs on the M5 MacBook Air. You'll see that the base model, 13-inch, comes with a 13.6-inch display. The M5 processor was just added to the MacBook Air just this month, like I said, early 2026. There's support for Apple Intelligence. There's 10-core CPU, 8-core GPU, and the base memory, unified memory, is 16 gigabytes. And the local storage just recently got bumped up to 512 gigabytes for the base models. And you'll see that it has up to 18 hours of battery life, and every keyboard comes with Touch ID. And the M5 chip just recently debuted in the MacBook Air, and it offers nice increases in performance, but it also includes some improvements around the neural processing, but it also includes some improvements around the neural accelerators that can help it with artificial intelligence tasks. Moving on, you'll see that the MacBook Air supports Apple Intelligence. There is 16, 24, and 32 gigabyte options for unified memory, and the storage goes from 512 gigabytes all the way up to 4 terabytes. The Air's display offers 500 nits of brightness, and its weight rings in at 2.7 pounds, and the front-facing camera offers a 12 megapixel sensor, and it supports center stage, which can help track you as you move around the room to keep you centered during a video call. And both ports on the side of the MacBook Air are Thunderbolt 4, so they're high-performance connections, and it even has support for 2 external displays. I recommend the MacBook Air to the creative person who kind of pushes their computer every now and then. The Air is an excellent investment for those people. And now let's talk about the MacBook Pro. This model is made for professional workloads. It's going to handle things like advanced video editing. That includes color correction, very complex timelines, that sort of thing. We're talking about audio mixing with professional plugins. We're talking about coding, advanced software builds. We're talking about utilizing virtual machines that need dedicated memory to run well. Let's take a look at the tech specs on the MacBook Pro Line-Up. You'll see on the 14-inch model, they all come with the same Liquid Retina XDR display. They are going to display accurate colors for the very discerning graphics and video professionals. You'll see across the line, there's the M5, the M5 Pro, and the M5 Max chips that are available. As we scroll down here, you'll see the differences in the CPU and GPU. The more cores, the better performance. If you need it, you know it. Same with the unified memory. The base levels go up depending upon the chip that you're investing in. And even with all the power that these chips are able to offer, the efficiency still allows them to get phenomenal battery life. You'll see a wide range of offerings for unified memory that starts at 16 gigabytes but can be configured all the way up to 128 gigabytes. And for data storage, it starts at 1 terabyte but can be configured all the way to 8 terabytes. The size of the MacBook Pro is a little larger than the Air, as one might expect, and it weighs in at right around 3.5 pounds. And just like the Air, the front-facing camera is that 12 megapixel sensor with support for center stage. The USB-C ports are either Thunderbolt 4 or 5, and they offer an HDMI port along with an SD card reader. Now, who needs the MacBook Pro? Well, not surprisingly, it is for people who make their computer sweat every time they use it. Okay, let's cover a couple of common confusion points when it comes to unified memory. The 8 and 16 gigabyte options are excellent for typical users. When you don't know what a memory bottleneck is, this is the option for you. Now, when it comes to the 16 to, say, 32 gigabyte range for unified memory, this is for people who undertake a little bit heavier multitasking. When you know you're going to occasionally undertake some intense tasks, this is the best choice for you. Now, when it comes to 32 gigabytes and above, you're a professional, you know you need it, and you know how much you need. Now let's cover that second common confusion point, and that's around sustained performance. The Air and the Neo both are fanless. They are very good for shorter periods of high performance. On the other hand, the MacBook Pro models have active cooling, meaning there's fans in them. This is for that sustained performance so that the fans can help keep things cool to keep that higher performance for much longer periods of time. Let me give you a couple of quick tidbits for purchase decisions. First off, don't overspend. If you're looking to own your computer longer and making an investment in that, buying a Pro is not necessarily going to get you longer longevity in ownership. Number two, don't underspend either. Remember, the MacBook Neo is not going to help you produce the next Hollywood blockbuster, and it might even struggle with simple 3D modeling. Here's my purchase advice for essentially everyone. Buy the computer you need today. Make a reasonable investment and use it until it crawls or breaks. Okay, quick recap. The MacBook Neo is great for everyday typical computing. The Air offers that nice balance for creatives, and the MacBook Pro is best for those advanced professional workloads. And if you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much. Until next time, have fun, stay safe, and keep learning.